got some major trade rumors to discuss surrounding the Miami Heat because there is a rumor floating out there that both Anthony Davis and Giannis Antetokounmpo have interest in joining the Heat in a trade this offseason. I'm Nic Rohloff. This is the Heat Report by Chat Sports, and we'll jump right into it because on Tuesday afternoon, Dan Le Batard, one of the best Miami analyst, radio host, what do you want to talk about out there, on his show said that Jonathan Zaslow is reporting as a legitimate Miami audio legend. He's reporting that Anthony Davis and Giannis Antetokounmpo are interested in Miami. And Zaslow doubled down, saying that they have both reached out to the Miami Heat front office. And this set Miami Heat Twitter into an ablaze yesterday as it's like, Anthony Davis, Giannis Antetokounmpo, is this real? How is it even possible to trade for Anthony Davis? Is Giannis a real possibility? We're going to talk about it on today's show, but I'll say this. Everybody wants the Heat to make a move. Everybody wants them to be back into the playoffs. Well, if you want the Heat to make a seismic move this offseason on the trade market, hit that thumbs up icon. Don't jinx it. Get the good vibes flowing for a potential trade this offseason. Well, I'll give my initial thoughts here on a potential trade with either of these two players. I highly doubt that both of them are actually interested in Miami. And I'll say this right now. If you are someone who thinks the Heat could trade for both, there is actually no possible way that is happening. And I'll start with this player because we don't talk about him a lot as a trade option for the Heat. I don't want Anthony Davis. I just don't. I'm sorry. There is a lot of reasons why it would be fun to acquire AD, but there are even more reasons in terms of why it would be an unmitigated disaster. He is no doubt one of the most talented players in the NBA, and when he was the number one pick out of Kentucky a decade plus ago, I think he has lived up to his hype in terms of the player. He was a top 5 player in the league at one point, and he helped lead the Los Angeles Lakers to a championship, unfortunately, over Miami. And you see the raw numbers on screen. He's one of the most dominant big men that the NBA has had. The issue is, and the reason why I do not want Anthony Davis at all, even if Dallas was somehow willing to part ways with him, which, by the way, I do not think the Mavs would trade him whatsoever due to him being the main piece in the Luka Doncic trade, and just out of principle, you can't trade him a year later unless he says, I'm requesting a trade, which I also don't anticipate that happening. Anthony Davis is always hurt. You saw it. He only played more than 60 games one time over the last 4 seasons. And I don't believe him and Bam would work offensively. And I know a lot of people are going to say Anthony Davis is better than Bam. Would you trade Adebayo for AD? I would not, because Bam is younger, he's more durable, and I just don't want to deal with Anthony Davis's injury history. They call him walking clothes for a reason, or street clothes Davis is what they say. And if you acquired Adebayo and Davis and had them together, sure, it would be an unbelievable fun 4-5 duo defensively, but the spacing would be so abysmal. We saw them play well together in the Olympics last offseason. That was fun to watch those two work together, but I don't know if it would work in the NBA. But what say you? Would you trade for Anthony Davis? It's today's pinned comment, so you get hit with a YouTube ad break. Let it play. Scroll down and answer the question. Type Y for yes or type N for no. I'm very skeptical of acquiring AD because we know Adebayo is inefficient from the three-point arc as of right now. He's continuing to grow. So you would need one of those two, if it was going to work together, to be a consistent three-point shooter. Well, Anthony Davis is not that whatsoever. Over the last 5 seasons, his decline from beyond the arc is just exponential almost. Like, he has started to take less and less three-pointers. He took the most three-pointers over the last 4 seasons this past year in between his time with Dallas and Los Angeles. But he has not shot over 30% from 3 each of the last 5 seasons. And that's quite the stark difference, considering in the late 2010s, between 2016 and 2019, in his final years in New Orleans, into his first year with the Lakers, he was shooting 33 to 35% consistently on about 2.5 to 3.5 attempts a night. That would play. If AD was still, right now, shooting 2.5, 3 three-pointers a game, and shooting low 30s. I'm not asking for high or mid 30s, low 30s. You give me 32, 33%, so you're going 1 of 3 on a nightly basis. that will play for me because it will at least force the defense to respect your shot from deep. No one respects, they dare Anthony Davis to shoot from beyond the arc at this stage in his career. And they kind of do the same thing for Bam, although he has shown the ability to make it. So to me, the spacing would just be horrible. You would not have any ability to drive in the paint with your backcourt and your guards. It would just be a cluster on the offensive end. So I don't think it's a good idea. Plus, I don't know if I'm willing to pay Anthony Davis $50+ million a season with his injury history, as well as having to trade to get him. What a trade idea may look like. I think it could be Andrew Wiggins, Hawkes, and Duncan plus 2 first-rounders. I actually think it's similar to what a Kevin Durant trade package could look like. And although Anthony Davis is younger than KD, Durant somehow plays just as much, if not more, games than AD on a yearly basis. He is more offensively polished, and KD would be a better fit on the Heat. So each player has their positives, has their negatives, but I would not be willing to offer anything more than that for a player in Anthony Davis who struggles to stay on the floor. The overall theme of the discussion around trading for Anthony Davis is this is something that simply won't happen. Like, yeah, we're talking about it today because there's a rumor and report out there, but there is no world that we live in that Anthony Davis becomes a member of the Miami Heat. Like, I seriously don't think it's possible. Now, you could have a conversation of Bam, Hero, AD. Like, how would that fare in the East? I think it's as talented as a trio as you have, but the concerns in terms of staying on the floor and spacing is just so large. It's like, can you expect that team to do anything when it comes to playoff time? This is why you subscribe to the channel, though, because we have daily Miami Heat content for free on the road to 23,000 subscribers. Help us get there by joining the channel today. Whether it's trade rumors, news, draft rumors, more, we'll have you covered here on the show. All right, let's shift over from Anthony Davis to Giannis Antetokounmpo, a player that will be in a lot of our videos this offseason until there is a resolution. But we showed this graphic on screen a couple days ago when it came to Heat trade rumors. Could Giannis actually be interested in the Miami Heat? Well, you saw that quote from Zaslow earlier in the show that Antetokounmpo has allegedly reached out to the Heat and has interest in joining Miami. You combine that with the report from Sam Amico. I know there's questions on if he's reliable or not, but the report that he is reportedly intrigued by the idea of playing in a state with no state income tax. The 3 states that have no income tax in the NBA, Florida, Texas, and Tennessee. So those teams are obviously the Mavericks, the Spurs, the Rockets, the Heat, the Magic, and the Grizzlies. Those are the 6 teams that would qualify by that. But I also don't know if that is the most reliable report when it comes to Giannis Antetokounmpo's desire. We'll continue the conversation on Giannis, but make sure you get your Miami Heat t-shirts right now on sale for $21, usually $28. If you go to chatsports.com/Heat shirt, you get $7 off. Running out of sizes, XXX and Quad X are already gone, but small through 2X are there. One more time, chatsports.com/Heat shirt. Links in the description and comments of today's video. I said this a couple days ago, and I'm going to consistently say this when it comes to Heat rumors around Giannis Antetokounmpo. I am not getting my hopes up whatsoever. The only way that I get my hopium back is if the report from Shams Charania comes out that Giannis has requested a trade and he prefers 3 teams or 1 team, and the Heat are on that tweet. But I just simply believe there's no chance that on the open market where there's just bidding from 5, 6 teams that Miami will have a chance. They will get outbid by Houston. They will get outbid by San Antonio. They would get outbid by Oklahoma City. And I just don't see a world where Milwaukee makes a deal with Miami unless they give up Hero or Bam. I would not trade Bam for Giannis. I would in a vacuum, but I think if Antetokounmpo wanted to come here, he would want to play with Bam. So that's what I mean by that, by the way. Don't go crazy in the comments. I would trade him for Giannis, but it just wouldn't make sense to me because Giannis would want to come here to play alongside Bam, not Tyler Hero. So I just don't think there's a world where it happens. If you are looking for a trade this offseason, I have said this and I will consistently say it, Kevin Durant is the most likely outcome for the Miami Heat. He is going to be 37 in the fall, 1 year left on his contract. The Suns are going to move off of KD. KD wants to leave Phoenix. And to me, Miami is one of the most linked teams, and it makes the most sense. Like, I think Pat Riley may get aggressive this offseason. He might not have done that before, but with Antetokounmpo potentially being traded and highly likely he goes to the Western Conference, you have Giannis out of the conference. Jason Tatum ruptured his Achilles, is out for basically all of next season. So the Celtics probably won't be a real threat to win the conference and the title next season. Milwaukee's out of it. And I think Miami could see an opening here to, if they make the right moves around Hero and Bam, to where they're a top 3-4 team in the East and competing for an NBA Finals berth next season. The Rockets are reportedly not interested in trading for Kevin Durant right now. The teams that have been linked to him the most so far in the offseason, the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Miami Heat. I don't know what the Timberwolves could offer, but I believe Miami's package would be better, whether it's 1 pick, 2 picks, Jovic, Jaquez, salary filler like Andrew Wiggins and Duncan Robinson. Either way, I think Miami's package is better because I don't think Rob Dillingham or any of the young players in Minnesota that are tradable are that coveted by the Phoenix Suns. And I will be honest, I have been lukewarm on it. I put him in my perfect offseason. I am now going to be pounding the table for Kevin Durant to be traded for this offseason. And maybe it's short-sighted because you're wasting some of your future assets to get Durant now. But the truth is this. With Tatum being hurt and Giannis likely out of the conference, there is an opening. A KD, Hero, Bam trio with the right surrounding pieces and right moves made the rest of the offseason by Pat Riley in this front office can absolutely compete with the Pacers, Pistons, Cavs, and Knicks next season for the Eastern Conference. With the Bucks and Celtics declining, you might have a chance to win next season. So why not go in on Kevin Durant? That'll do it for today's show. Make sure you are subscribed as we continue to bring you daily content surrounding the Miami Heat. We'll have some draft rumors coming up here over the weekend, as well as more trade rumors and news surrounding Miami. So join the channel and never miss a piece of our content.